Hey beautiful people, this video is about Execution Excellence Framework. I have found frameworks to be incredibly valuable. I think if you're partly a visual person and you're also an analytical person, that frameworks sort of bring both of those together for you, and they allow you to be able to sort of see how different aspects of things relate to each other. So I'm a systems thinker by training and by preference, and for me, if I can see how things fit together and what the feedback loops are in systems and how systems relate to each other, it gives me a lot of confidence in my ability to be able to design and leverage that particular framework. So let's talk about an execution excellence framework. In many organizations, what I've seen is there are a lot of people striving for excellence, and I support that. I love that. I think it's so important and so valuable, and it also makes work more interesting and more fun. But in many instances, because the frameworks that we use for designing how we execute and how we get work done, how we do work and how we coordinate together, those frameworks are broken. And in many instances, what that means is that when we strive for excellence, we produce burnout. And I would love to be able to work in organizations where excellence and burnout were not synonymous. I have seen so many well-intentioned people come into organizations in pursuit of excellence, passionate about what it is that they do, and ultimately getting burned out after a couple of years. So part of the work that I do, I'm a best-selling author of The Innovation Mindset and also an award-winning book which is called 100% Capacity. But what I do is I help organizations build execution capacity and innovation capacity so that people can pursue excellence without getting burnt out, without having to get burnt out. That if they're getting burnt out and they understand execution layers and they understand how innovation and execution are so deeply allied, then it's a choice because they've chosen not to pursue the approach. But what I've seen is that over the years, as we think about what is executional excellence, which allows us to be able to do innovation excellence, product development excellence, customer service excellence, market development excellence, market penetration excellence, any of the excellences that we want to do, the underpinning element of that is executional excellence. So I think about execution as being a layer of capacity that we need to build inside an organization, and a conceptual layer that we can design and develop and build inside our companies. As we look to be able to build our executional capacity as individuals and collectively as teams and departments, one of the ways to start it, one of the most effective ways to start it, is to begin to look at what are the 5 capacities that we need to build. And let me talk to you about those 5 capacities. So the teams who are able to build executional excellence do 5 things that other teams do not. They design and maintain explicit agreements. So many times within our organizations, there are lots of implicit agreements. There are lots of believed to be shared understandings of how work gets done, believed to be historical understandings of what it means to deliver value and what it means to deliver excellent. But making those conversations actually explicit creates a level of trust and a level of executional agility inside the org, and also positions people to be able to identify when historical agreements are actually producing waste. So the teams that design and maintain explicit agreements are the ones who set themselves up for a higher level of executional excellence. They also practice what I call executional awareness. So if you think about these agreements as being conversations that human beings have with each other, people inside the org have with each other, not at just the department level, but at every single level in the org, where they're making commitments to each other, they're delivering on promises to each other, they're aware of each other as internal customers for value that they're delivering. They're aware of the dependencies or the network of commitments behind them that need to get delivered on in order for them to be able to deliver to their internal customer for a particular thing that they're committing to. They have a visual in their mind's eye of the network of commitments that they're working in the middle of. If they're able to practice that executional awareness, it positions them differently in terms of understanding the impact of their decisions in terms of negotiating, in terms of solutioning much more effectively, because now they've got a much bigger context. When they have the context, they can also do a lot more sense making, and they can actually deliver a lot more value and understanding for their people as to why it is they're doing what they're doing and what the expected value is. Executional awareness is a capacity that can be built, and I believe a very strategic capacity that can be built in teams over a period of time, and that allow for a higher level of excellence in terms of execution and delivery. They embed coordination practices into their daily work. So if you think about what we're doing here, we're introducing an execution excellence framework conceptually, and people can see what it is and they can understand what it means. But if they can't practice it, if they can't execute on it, if they can't actually do it on a day-to-day basis, it never actually comes alive. It's just another piece of paper in a file in someone's office, or on a PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides presentation that gets shared around. People go, that's really interesting, but nobody actually executes on it. The execution layer lives in the daily practices of the human beings who are committed to excellence and who are committed to building executional capacity. So what I mean by that is that people are actually practicing the conversations with each other. They're practicing negotiating with each other. They're practicing co-inventing with each other. They're practicing not always being right, but learning how to actually listen to what it is that the other person's looking to contribute. They're practicing building value together and designing value together. They're practicing making commitments together. And so what we see over time is the teams that are highly successful in terms of pursuing excellence by building executional capacity underneath them are the ones who understand that at the heart of execution capacity is coordination practices on a daily basis. The other thing that I've seen is incredibly important with these teams is that they normalize what I refer to as declaring breakdowns. They normalize the repair and recovery conversations. So I think I've talked about this in other videos, but we can probably predict what about 50% of any project is going to look like, and the actions that need to be taken for 50% of that project. And if we believe in the task management system, which I don't, if we believe in the task management approach to project management, we can assign half of the tasks on a project to multiple different people and multiple different teams. But if we also recognize that our ability to be able to guess all the things that need to be done on a project for the duration of a project that might run 1, 2, 3, 4 years, if we're doing big scale product development or software development, what we'll recognize, if we're really honest with ourselves, is we can only guess about 50% of what it is that needs to be done. And if we can't build the ability to be able to repair and redesign and create new conversations within our team's capacity, we're going to miss out on half of what needs to be done, and we're always going to be in backlog, always going to be scrambling. The other thing that I've noticed with teams who are effective in terms of building executional excellence and leveraging the executional excellence framework is that they are also extremely good at shared language and building standards and consciously building and managing trust. So the shared language piece of it is really important. In the absence of us being able to point to things, we don't see them. In the absence of us having language for things, we don't position ourselves to ever be able to redesign or change them. So part of the conversations we need to start having inside organizations is conversations around executional excellence, because it is a capacity that will allow us to be able to deliver on excellence in all of our other endeavors. So the language that we use to talk to each other about how to design and develop and deliver on executional excellence is absolutely core to our ability to be able to deliver on excellence in other areas of our work. So as you start thinking about execution excellence frameworks, I have a white paper that has multiple frameworks in it, but that will help you as you start thinking about execution by design. The white paper is called Execution by Design. It's available in the links below, and it's in the comments below, and it's also available through my website as a free resource, which is www.jenniferkenny.com/execution. I'd love you to have a look at it. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it relates to your commitment for excellence in whatever it is that you do. Let me know how you apply it. And as you do it, I'm here to support you however I can. I wish you the very best of luck and success. Take care.